Hey guys, Fireblade here, and welcome to something new on my channel. I am doing Reddit videos. Well, why am I doing Reddit videos? Because I have been watching Reddit videos or listening. I like the stories, and I thought, why don't I do some? So yeah, we're gonna be starting out with r/entitled parents. Before I start, I want to introduce a kind of a character on this channel, specifically for this Reddit, this subreddit. She doesn't really have a name that I can say, yes, this is her name. Her temporary name right now is Suzune Shiratori. Anyway, let's start. Hey guys, this is a story of a friend of mine who I got permission from to write, but I'll write in first person because it'll be easier to understand. Also, I will be changing the gender multiple times because my friend doesn't want anything known about them, not even gender. From here on, I'll be speaking in first person mode. I moved into a small but lovely house with my parents when I was 10. Though the house was small, it had a nice backyard with a tree. My father did his best to improve the house and the backyard and always tried to make us happy. He worked 6 days a week in a construction company, and we lived on his job. He was the loveliest, most caring father ever. My entitled mother, however, never worked. She sat all day on TV, smoking and drinking, which resulted in a lot of argument between my parents. I hated these arguments and always ran away. My father built me a nice tree house to play in and stay away from trouble. He then bought me a beautiful puppy who became my best friend and would always play with me in the tree house. Now this all happened in the span of 3 years, so I was about 13. So on to the story. One night, the argument was really heated and my entitled mother was screaming, saying that my dad should get another job as he wasn't buying her expensive stuff, like all of her friends' husbands do. What a bitch. It was a mess. So I sneaked out to the house with my puppy and went up to the treehouse. But I must have slipped because the next thing I know, I was on the ground with immense pain. I can't move while my dog was barking non-stop. I regained my consciousness in the hospital and heard the doctor say I was in a coma. I was so confused when I was clearly conscious, but I wasn't able to open my eyes or move at all. My dad was talking to the doctor regarding my health, while entitled mother was talking with the nurse about the prices. Her freaking daughter was in the hospital with a coma and all she cared about the price. Again, what a bitch. I was transferred back home with a special device for my respiratory, which was a huge important for later. It was so terrifying and sad that they were right there feeling terrible, but you can't reach them. My father used to come to me every day and start telling me about his day. It was the only entertainment I had in this state. When he would start turning me over and rub my hands and feel for blood circulation, then he would leave. Entitled mother always thought my dad was being ridiculous talking to a lifeless body. Again, what a bitch. My puppy never left my side, as if he knew I was conscious. I started hearing arguments every night while my dog was beside me, but once I was able to slightly squeeze my eyelid, which my dog noticed, and he started barking rapidly. Loudly, my father rushed in, but he didn't notice anything, but my dog stayed barking all night. At about midnight, my entitled mother came into my room while my dog was still barking and took him away. I never heard him again. After a year, there was an argument about me. My entitled mother said, "How long are we gonna keep this lifeless body around?" Why am I trying to sound like r/? I don't know. To which my dad responded, "Until she dies." But sadly, the argument ended with my mother whining, and my dad had to move me to a smaller room in the house because I was taking up too much space in my entitled mother's eye. Now I was moved to a very small room, barely enough to fit my bed, equipment, and room for one person to get in. It was right next to the living room, so now I could easily hear the chats and fights, and it was starting to hurt my ears. Fast forward another year, and my entitled mother had friends over, and she was bragging about meeting this wealthy businessman at a bar and how she will leave my dad and whatnot. I was livid, but literally couldn't do anything. So 2 days later, she left my dad saying he was a lazy husband and never satisfied her in anything, and she left. My father was heartbroken, so was I. My father is the most hardworking person I know. A few months later of peace and quiet, my father decided to take me to a nursing home. He cried over me, saying he can't see me like this and that it breaks his heart. So there I was the next 4 years in a nursing home with only a person coming to my room twice a day for blood circulation. I entertained myself by creating my own life in my mind, which by the way turned out to be healing the damaged brain cells, to the point that I couldn't differentiate between make-believe and reality. But I knew what my entitled mother did was totally real. One day, I heard a familiar voice. It was my dad. He came to me and started talking to me again. I was beyond happy. He said, "I can't believe you're finally 13 again. I miss you so much. I can't let you see me in this terrible state, a heartbroken state." At this point, I knew I couldn't stay like this any longer. It was hurting my dad, so I tried my heart as best as I can, and I finally opened my eyes. When my father noticed, he freaked out and called a doctor. They performed some tests and said that my brain cells have healed, but it'll be a while before I can walk and talk again. The news heard about my story and did a few interviews with me, and who did see me 5 years later. And who did see me 5 years later? My entitled mother. She came back because of the fame. My father tried to kick her out, but she said I should decide. I, of course, said a big fat no in sign language. She didn't know I heard everything. Lol. But I wasn't done. I told the media about how terrible my mother was, and she got a lot of hate both in real life and in social media. I also found out that she left her wealthy businessman for the fame, and now she was all alone. No house, no money, and no work experience. Sweet, sweet karma. Not about the third person. My friend has been healing great. He can talk now, and he is learning to walk again. Yo, kudos to this guy. Kudos to the friend. Dude, this was posted 2 hours ago. Oh my god. Kudos to this friend. Oh, so good to hear. So good to hear, man. I am glad that he is doing well. The woman definitely was a bitch. Like, why would you say that? I mean, that's your child. I mean, seriously. Asshole. Complete and utter asshole that lady is. On to story 2. Cast. Me, M, manager, ED, entitled daughter, EM, entitled mother, MH, my hero. You all seem to enjoy the story of entitled mother blaming a funeral on me. Ooh. I'm curious about this one. I might change one of my stories to this one. I have 4 pulled up, so yeah. So I have another one for you. For my time working at Walmart. Dude, I have a story at Walmart, but I'm not going to tell it here. This is when I first started out at Walmart back in 2014. In an electronic counter. It was near nighttime and the photo center was closed. It was only me at the stand while others went on break. Some went on break somewhere in the back of the store or at lunch. Plus business was slow, so it was fine when I was by myself. But oh boy, was I wrong. It was about 15 minutes had passed when a teenager, the entitled daughter, came up to the counter and placed a cell phone in the box on the counter while I was helping the father, who will be my hero in this story, as you'll see later. I asked the father if he was alright by himself while I helped another customer, and he was fine with it, browsing the child movie section. I was about to ask how I could help her, but she held her hand up at me. I remember this very well when she did that. I want a refund on this damn phone. It doesn't work with the plan I have. I looked at the phone and it was a Walmart plan we run with T-Mobile. It was usually not the greatest, but it was a good start on a cell phone plan before switching to a bigger one. And when I looked at the receipt, I already knew this was going to be harmful. To those who don't know, all electronic items can be refunded, but you have to return it within 15 days to get it, especially when it's a cell phone. Other items are usually 30 to 90 days, depending on the department. And when I looked at the receipt, it was way past 15-day policy, so I couldn't return it. I'm sorry, man, but I can't refund this. It's been past 15 days policy. Oh boy, the entitled daughter is not like this. What do you mean? My mother and I were here a few days ago when we got the damn thing. I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm looking at the receipt on the day you purchased the cell phone, and it's way past our policy. I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. Entitled daughter lets out a groan and huff before storming away with the cell phone and receipt. I sighed deeply and leaned into the counter. My hero then came with a few movies and saw the whole thing. That was pretty rough to deal with that, huh? I just laughed and scanned his item. Oh, you have no idea, sir. This is just my first month here. We both had a good laugh, and when I gave him a receipt, I saw the entitled daughter once again, but this time with her entitled mother in tow. I knew I was in trouble. You! Why won't you give my daughter her money back? We bought everything! I understand that, ma'am, but it's past our return policy. Even if I scan it, the serial number won't be in our system anymore. Entitled mother then yelled at me to get the manager, while calling me a few colorful names as well. While I phoned for manager, the daughter and mother had a smug grin on their face like they had just won. Of course they had. Soon the manager came by, who was the same manager from my previous story. You really want me to read that story, don't you? And that's what the problem was. Yes, your employee was rude to us and won't refund my daughter's cell phone that she paid a few days ago. I want my money now, and this cunt fired. Ooh. Seriously, who does this over a cell phone? But then again, Walmart. Wally World is the craziest people world. Fun fact, I never heard Walmart referred to as Wally World until a few days ago. Manager looks over to me and I tried to explain what was happening, but entitled mother kept interrupting me while calling me names till manager saw the receipt. One look at the date and he knew what was up. Okay, ma'am, two things. One, don't curse my employees, she's doing her job. And two, you bought the cell phone a month ago. We can't refund you for the cell phone because the serial number is no longer in our system. Entitled daughter and entitled mother frowned at that, then started to cuss at me and manager for not helping them and not letting them have their money back. My hero was watching the whole thing and he stood between us and them. Ma'am, you need to calm down and you need to control your daughter as well. This is none of your business. And why should I do what you say about my daughter? They're the one that won't help us, entitled mother points to me and manager. And this was something I remember to this day. Oh, I can see it now. My hero pulled out his wallet and showed a police badge. He was an off-duty cop. I suggest either you two calm down right now, or so help me, I will escort you both out in handcuffs. This is no way to act in public. You need to be a better example to your daughter, and you need to control that mouth of yours, kid. Entitled mother and entitled daughter were silent, dead silent, and pale before grabbing the cell phone and the box. They ran off. My hero turned to us and apologized for not stepping in sooner. Manager told them that it was fine. I was still dumbfounded that I was helped out by an off-duty cop. My hero gave manager his badge number in case those two came back, and then thanked me for suggesting a few Disney and DreamWorks movies for his kid. He told me he had a young son and a daughter before leaving. Manager asked me if I was okay and told him I was still baffled that my hero was a cop and I didn't know. And what was so funny, karma's at it finally, was that a few days later, that entitled mother and entitled daughter did the same thing again, but at a different Walmart. And they were both arrested for assault on an officer and resisting arrest. My hero was talking to manager while I was on lunch, and that told me when I came back. So, my hero, if you are out there or reading at this point or watching the video, thank you for helping me out on that night of those two. TLDR, entitled daughter, entitled mother want a refund on their phone? Couldn't get one as they passed the return policy. Then an off-duty cop shut them up. That is awesome. That is awesome. Seriously. Dude, when I was working at Walmart, I honestly if I had something like that, freaking that would be the best story I've ever had. But no, if I have the worst story I had, I'm gonna give a little bit of I'm gonna tell the story, alright? Meaning I'm gonna cut one of the stories I have. So I was working at Walmart, right? It was my first job ever, right? I was working the self-checkout. This, now keep in mind, this was before Walmart had upgraded to a lot of the self-checkout. To have a lot of self-checkout. We still had the express checkout, you know, 20 items or less. Yeah, this was before they got rid of those and added more self-checkout, and where you need like two self-checkout employees there. It was before that, right? They still had the 4, and it was late. It was night. I was like on my last half an hour for the day, right? And the self-checkout was full. It was full. Every station, everyone was there, and every single thing kept going off. Someone ordering alcohol, I gotta let them in. The machine wouldn't recognize that they had their bags on the weight. I had to clear that up. Someone wanted me to remove their thing, clear that up. Now someone complaining that the price isn't what it says, had to clear that up. Everywhere I had to go. I was running in circles trying to help everybody. And letting you know, I do kind of suffer from a bit of a panic attack. Like it's not a huge panic attack, but I still kind of suffer from panic attack. Anyways, I was starting to have a panic attack, right? I was trying to calm myself, but I couldn't. I couldn't get a second to breathe right. I couldn't get a second to catch my breath because I was so busy trying to help everyone, right? My panic attack kept getting worse and worse. I tried to contain it, but I started tearing up. It wasn't until one customer yelled at me, basically saying that the price didn't match what it was said. I just told him, I can't help, I don't know what to say, but I can't help you with that. She yelled at me saying, then go get someone that does. I just like backed off saying, I can't leave. I can't leave. Like I couldn't complete my sentence, right? I was starting to breathe hard. I was backing away, kind of creating myself a little bit. I was still standing, right? One of the managers saw what was happening and they came to help me, right? I was starting to have my panic attack where it was starting to get worse to where I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. It was starting to get to that point. Anyway, another manager came in, helped me, and brought me to the break room in the back, and basically gave me my last break for the shift. And awesomely enough, they actually added an extra 5 minutes to that. So yeah, usually it's a 15-minute break. They gave me an extra 5 minutes on that break. Thank you. Alright, and then let me finish the rest of my shift working at the electronics section. Right, that was the only time I ever worked at electronics. Anyways, I was there, I was helping out. By the way, that break totally helped me. In fact, I was totally fine to go back to the self-checkout and continue working there, because really, that's all I needed. I really needed was a break. Anyways, I was working in the well, not really helping, I was working in the electronics until that same woman that yelled at me came back and apologized. Like, she was frustrated about what was happening. I completely understand, right? It is frustrating having to deal with this and seeing that the prices is different and stuff like that. That is frustrating. She came back to apologize. That was so great. That was really great. Yeah. While that is technically my worst experience, it follows up as something that honestly I did never expect to happen. Especially now. Especially when I look back at it now and reading all these listening to these entitled parents. It is amazing that actually somebody did have the decency to come and apologize. So yeah. I no longer work at Walmart. I work at FedEx. Anyways, last story. Entitled parents at my job. Several quickie. Nothing too big. I am ready to torch my job down to avoid anyone. First off, every single damn parent asking for toilet paper when we had none. Oh. I adore my assistant manager, Tom. One entitled mother kept clapping in his face every time he told her that we had nothing back there. Check the back again. My baby needs it. then Tom clapped back in her face. I checked 4 times today. They are not going to suddenly appear after the 5th time. Ow, hurt my hand. She started screaming, but he just walked away. Second, we had shoplifters. Someone tried shoplifting food, candy, and small products. But we had our people going up and down the aisle every day, so no one is getting away with it. Yes, it became a screaming match with these entitled people, parents mostly, who feel like they deserve to get stuff for free. One guy even threw a freaking sucker at someone because he wasn't allowed to steal it. Dude, seriously, what the fuck? Third, we got toilet paper delivered last week. Oh, we have a 2-person rule. Yes, argument abound with people wanting more than that, but we don't want them to get away with taking more. This one guy puts up 3 packets on the counter. I scanned 2, but told him I won't scan the last item. So guess what he did? He looked me right in the eye, picked up the 4-pack package, and coughs all over it, getting spit and whatnot all over it. He then puts it down, grins at me. Now what are you gonna do with it? Thanking my manager for enforcing the use of gloves, I pick up the package without even looking away from the guy, reached under the counter for a disinfectant wipe we had down there, and pulled out 2 of them. The man gave me a really angry look as I wiped down the package from top to bottom. I used a 3rd wipe as he is gearing up to yell at me, and I used to roll behind the counter and gave him a sweet smile. He explodes at me as I ring him up with that smile. I may be autistic, and yelling does make me upset, but the sound of another coworker laughing at this guy helped me endure as I finished ringing up the guy up. He called me every dirty name he could think of, which at this point, I've heard at least 3 times daily since the epidemic started. I really wish I was exaggerating. He paid and walked out of there ranting. I wiped down the package a 4th time and the manager took it back to the shelf. I would throw it out to be honest, but we had to make sale. Finally, Tom gave us some lockers that look somewhat like these. He posted a picture. We used to have bins with our name on them in the back for our coats and stuff. However, too many customers have been caught going through our things and even flat out stealing items. Tom is the best assistant manager. He went out and bought us these lockers. We still have people trying to break into them, but up until today, no one has gotten into them. Today, however, someone was able to. When I came into work today, I saw a police car leaving the parking lot with someone in the back, and someone taking a crying kid, I couldn't tell the gender, to another car. I asked someone what happened. Apparently, this parent came in and went into the back room. Somehow he got 2 of the lockers open and started putting things in the bag his kid was holding. Money, their own supplies of disinfectant, their lunch, anything that could be put in the bag. He was caught, of course, by one of the other employees and the police was called. And I was told that it was going to get worse. Ugh, not looking forward to this. People, seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you being such a cunt? Like this, especially with someone right here, who is like one of the people that has to keep working in this pandemic. Just because you're not working doesn't mean you have to treat these people like shit. Seriously, they are working, allowing you to buy stuff so you can keep on living in your house so you won't fucking starve. But yet you're just gonna be a fucking asshole about it? Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why? Ugh. Seriously. Retail is one of the most hated jobs. Even before this pandemic, because you have to deal with people that are just complaining and complaining. But with this whole pandemic, you have to act like this? Seriously? It is just so fucking stupid. Ugh. You know what they say, in a time of crisis, people show their true colors. And the fact that this is what the people really are, is just insane. Why would you fucking do this? Alright? You are not the only person in the world that is suffering. Alright? Learn to be a decent fucking human being, you fucking cunts. Ugh. And yes, I am fucking triggered, alright? If you've been with me on my channel since the beginning, you know I have cut back on swearing. But just like this, it's just... it gets me so mad that I don't give a fucking... I just don't give a fuck what happens to them, alright? I just don't give a fuck what happens to them now. The people that are suffering from these types of other people, like this guy who's working... Ugh. Seriously. Prayers to you, man. To you and everyone else that work in retail. Even to the doctors right there. Because you guys are one of the people that are likely to get it. Doctors obviously are the #1 person to get it. But yeah. Again, I'm lucky. While I am blessed to keep working, I am lucky that I am not working retail again. I'm working at FedEx, lifting a bunch of these damn heavy boxes, but I can guarantee you, if someone did that to me, I would not hold back, alright? I would just say, no, fuck you, alright? Fuck you, you're getting this shit. No, I don't give a fuck what you say, alright? You're getting this and you're paying up and you're getting the fuck out, alright? I don't care what he would have to say. I don't care if he would yell at my manager. I don't even care if the manager fired me, alright? Because this dude or people needs to know that in this pandemic, we will not tolerate that. People will not tolerate you acting like that. Alright? And in that situation, yes, we would tolerate it, alright? Begrudgingly, we would tolerate it. But in this pandemic, no! Ugh. Anyways, I'm quitting this already. Hope you enjoyed EntitledParents. I am never reading another one. What is wrong with these people?